All right. Good morning. Good afternoon, everybody. It's Sunday. It's draft day. Training camps have started. Crazy news going on. It must be fantasy football season. So, the big question today for me is how, when does Michael Thomas get drafted? Wow. When does Michael Thomas get drafted? And how far does Saquon Barkley fall? I just got Saquon Barkley just right now with the 11th pick in a best ball draft. Like, okay, we're okay taking Jonathan Taylor, who we've only seen do it for like half a season. We're okay taking Nick Chubb, who doesn't catch passes, but we're scared of Saquon Barkley. All right, I'll take him. I'm not scared. They're just gonna be me on Zoom today. You guys gonna have to listen to me for hour plus. All right, is everybody on here? Is Austin on here? Oh gosh, is Austin not on here again? Did his internet drop? We're just waiting on clapping cheeks. Austin. All right, looks like Cheeks is here. Looks like everybody is here. Let's do this. Let's get this party started. Here we go. Here we go. All right, well, at least Pierre's on here with me. What's up, Pierre?
Hey, I don't know why my Zoom isn't starting up on the computer, so I had to resort to cell.
That's all right.
Okay.
I'm glad it's not just gonna be me talking by myself for an hour, so that's good.
There's nobody else on the Zoom? Like, not one person? That's weird. Everybody busy on a Sunday?
I guess.
All right. Let's see if we can. I don't know if that's better or worse. I guess it doesn't really matter.
I gotta get off auto. It's too busy at typing.
Yeah, you definitely didn't want Cook there.
Yeah. Hold on. No, I was talking about in the chat. I just got Barkley at the 111 in my best ball draft.
The panic's real. People are gonna start, taking Devontae Adams in round 5 and Barkley in round 2.
It would have been more surprising if Barkley started camp not on PUP. Like that would have been way more surprising. Like I don't understand. I don't know if were you on Twitter last night at all when Anthony Miller got traded, and everybody's like Darnell Mooney season, and I'm like, did you really you didn't see this coming from first of all, it was Darnell Mooney. First of all, I hate Darnell Mooney's season, but it was Darnell Mooney's season last year during the season. Second of all, were people really like, man, if Anthony Miller isn't on the team, then I'm buying into Darnell Mooney. Until then, though, I'm out. Until then, though, I'm out.
Yeah, that was the one hurdle, in his way. It was Anthony Miller. Yeah.
Right. It's like if it took Anthony Miller getting traded for you to get excited about Darnell Mooney, I'm sorry, you're not very good at this. Come on.
Yeah, Nick is on. What's up, Nick?
What's up, Nick? I think it's the first time I've seen Nick's head.
Hey guys, what's up? Yeah, all my hats. I normally wear hats, but all my hats are in my bag, and I'm too lazy to get them out. So you get to see my bed head instead.
Nice. Same here.
We were talking about. I know you're not on Twitter, Nick, but all the because this is what happens, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Some news comes out. Okay, I don't know if you saw it, but last night, Anthony Miller got traded to the Texans.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, and everybody starts freaking out how oh my God, look, this is so good for Darnell Mooney, Darnell Mooney. I'm like, Darren and I are like, what the hell? You should have been on Darnell Mooney since last year, and Anthony Miller should have had literally no impact on how you felt about Darnell Mooney.
Mm-hmm.
But this is why I can get Saquon Barkley at the 111, because even though it would have been way crazier if he didn't start on PUP than he did, when people see the news that he's on PUP, they freak out, and now he's undraftable. Now people are like, I can't draft Saquon Barkley. So that's why this happens. Once he starts once he comes off PUP and starts running around, people are going to start drafting in the top 5 again.
So are we to assume Aaron Rodgers is still on the Packers or not when we're doing this draft?
I mean, that's an individual choice, I guess.
Okay, well, here, I'm going to make this pick assuming Aaron Rodgers will be on the Packers next year.
Well, Devontae Adams just got taken in the first round, so obviously Gus Bowles is assuming Aaron Rodgers is still there, unless he has a lot of faith in Jordan Love. But yeah, look, that's what Chris, you tweeted this out earlier and I kind of followed up is I thought it was about not wanting to play for that front office. But now if he's like, oh, well, if you give me 90 million, then I'll stay. Then it's like, okay, so you will play for the Packers if the money's right or if whatever demand you have is met. So what does that tell you? He's not in a like Deshaun Watson. I believe there's no way he plays for the Texans again, especially after what's going down. But Aaron Rodgers, he just basically admitted, like, yeah, I'll still play for them under certain conditions, right?
Yeah.
It goes against the whole narrative. Like I said on the Discord, I thought the whole narrative was that he's done with the Packers, no matter how much money they give him. Now, apparently, I don't know.
Well, here's why I don't think, like, if you gave Aaron Rodgers truth serum and said, Aaron Rodgers, why do you not want to play for the Packers? I think he would say, I don't know. And here's why. Here's why I say that. They drafted Jordan Love in the 2020 draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If he's pissed off about that, why go out there and play 2020? Like, if you're mad about that, why not demand a trade right then? Why go out, play the whole season, go to the NFC Championship game, lose, then demand a trade? Like, that is like what? Like, so if he's upset about the Jordan Love pick, wouldn't you have demanded the trade after the Jordan Love pick? So then he's like, maybe he's upset about the fact that they kicked the field goal. I don't know. But are you going to demand a trade because your coach kicked the field goal? Like, is that worth demanding a trade for? Like, talk to the coach, sit down with the coach and be like, hey, next time, maybe the analytics say the field goal is the right move, but you got me. Give me the ball. Give me a chance. Sit down with the coach. Like, you don't have to demand a trade over that. Is it the money? Well, they offered him allegedly an extension that was going to make him the highest paid, but now he wants 90 million. This is what I mean. Like, what is it? Like, what is he upset about? Like, what the hell?
He just wants to be in the news. I think he got a taste of the Hollywood life, Jeopardy, and now he just likes being in the media attention.
That could be it too, because he's got Jeopardy, he's got the Hollywood wife now, right? He's got the movie actress wife. He's like, oh, this is cool. Like, everybody's talking about me.
Yep, that's what it is.
Maybe that's all it is. But well, they start training camp on Wednesday, so we'll know if he doesn't report to training camp, I'll get nervous. Because it's like, maybe he's willing to sit out the season now. Or, maybe he's like taking the Deshaun Watson stance where he's like, I'm not playing for you. Even though I know Deshaun Watson reported because he doesn't want to lose money.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, fine, he's like, fine, I'm not playing, but I'll show up to get paid. He's like Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here not to get fined, right?
Yeah.
I'm just here not to get fined.
That's it.
So I'm drafting as if it's going to be, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, everything in 2020 now, or in 2021. Now, if this was Dynasty, I'd be a little more nervous because next year seems a lot more risky.
Yeah.
Because I think he has an out. I think Aaron Rodgers has an out next year, doesn't he?
I don't know, maybe.
I think he does.
Yeah, even so, he could just say, I'm retiring, that's it, to do the Andrew Luck thing. But that's why it's crazy, but it's true. Tom Brady is more valuable in Dynasty now than Aaron Rodgers because Tom Brady's going to play at least 2 more years, if not 5 more years. And he's with a really good team. So, I mean, trust him more. All right, you're up, Chris.
Yeah, I'm back now. I'm back.
Stay focused. Yeah, we're going to see, guys like Barkley start to slip a little bit. We're going to see some of the Packers slip. And so you're going to see other guys. I think Najee Harris is going to keep creeping up. And, some of those guys are going to start moving up.
Well, especially now with these injuries, right? Let's say you got Akers, who was a second rounder who can't be drafted. Michael Thomas, who knows how far he's going to fall. So, yeah, if these guys start falling and with those injuries, it's like now guys get bumped up, right? So that's what I'm interested to see in this draft. If anybody takes Michael Thomas and where, how low does he have to go before somebody grabs him?
Yeah, he's undraftable. Because think about it. You're playing for a guy that maybe will contribute in the second half. When he does come back in the second half, how healthy is he going to be? Probably not. And then some people were already worried in the first place because of the quarterback situation, which we still don't know. So like, what is the best case scenario for him? You know what I mean? I think by that point, the offense is going to be run heavy. It's going to be, trying to figure out other ways to score. And I don't think they're going to be throwing it to him 10 times a game once he comes back in week 9 or whatever it is. I mean, I just don't see that it's worth drafting him because you have to stash him then basically for half the year. I don't know. I'd rather take a chance somewhere else.
Yeah, and I think back to like Debo last year, even though I know there were different injuries. Remember, Debo came back, couldn't really get going.
Got hurt again.
It's unlikely that when Michael Thomas comes back, he's just like 100% full go. Here we go, right? You're probably gonna have like 3 or 4 weeks of maybe one week he's good and 1 week he's bad. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So we're probably looking at best case scenario week 10, week 11 before you get full Michael Thomas. And at that point, you might be out of it.
Well, yeah, at that point, what's the I'm Michael Thomas. Oh, okay. That's what a lot of people said last year. Oh, when he comes back. I mean, big deal. He didn't even do much last year, even when he was on the field. But that's a good point. Because remember last year, I think we even did a separate video just on Deebo Samuel, like his injury and what it means. We basically said he's not draftable because even if he comes back, he wasn't going to be 100%. He could get re-injured. And guess what? He came back and he wasn't 100% and he got re-injured. Yeah. So he wasn't worth drafting because you had those 2 or 3 good weeks, and then you had to drop him because he was out the rest of the season.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. If the Saints are bad, which they could be bad, we're looking at an offense with probably Taysom Hill and Traquan Smith as his number 1 target. I know they have Alvin Kamara, but come on, can Alvin Kamara win games by himself? I know they still have a good defense, but if they're
win Offensive Player of the Year.
Alvin Kamara, he didn't even win Offensive Player of the Year last year, and he had like 21 touchdowns.
Young Money's on. What's up?
What's up, Young Money? But like, what if he's like ready to come back week 6, or let's say he's ready to come back week 8, and they're 2-6 or 3-5, but maybe he's not 100%. He's like, hey, I'm like 85%. Do they bring him back? They're like sitting there at 2-6 or 3-5. Do they bring him back and say, or do they just say, you know what? The season's lost. Get 100%. Like that. That's the risk, right?
Mm-hmm. Look, you can't underestimate the whole Drew Brees factor as far as winning. Again, we're talking real life, not fantasy. But again, that affects it because if you have a team that's on a losing streak and then decides they're going to play for next year, that's going to affect the value of everybody. So I'll then just let him fall in my lap. That's fine. I'll take Waller again.
Yeah, you got to take Waller at 3-8. My problem with voting for anybody but Dak for comeback player of the year is that he's a quarterback and he's on the Cowboys. Like, remember the media votes on these things.
Yeah. Right.
not the other players, the media, like old white dudes, you know what I mean, who strongly overvalue quarterbacks. And
that's why the MVP is always a quarterback. The only difference is because Dak actually played, 5 games last year? And so that's why Barkley basically didn't play the whole season. That's why I went with Barkley, because his comeback will be more.
Well, as somebody who has Barkley in a lot of best ball drafts and in Dynasty, I want him too. But I just know that's like here's the thing. We saw Dak get hurt on live TV. Everybody was like devastated for Dak. He plays for the Cowboys. If he goes out there and has even a good season, he's going to win it. And that's why I think Trevor Lawrence, because again, he's a rookie. Well, they're all rookies. I'm talking about rookie of the year, but he's a quarterback. If he goes out there and who deserved rookie of the year last year? Justin Jefferson, who had arguably the best rookie season a wide receiver's ever had, or Justin Herbert, who just had a really good quarterback rookie season? Like, it wasn't like Justin Herbert was the best rookie quarterback we've ever seen.
He threw 31 touchdowns. That was the most for any rookie.
Well, he threw the most touchdowns, but Justin Jefferson had the most yards, and Justin Jefferson didn't even basically play the first 2 games. My point being is for a positional player to win, they have to have a godly type season. They just do. Now, offensive player of the year is different because they usually don't give that to a quarterback because they give the MVP the quarterback the MVP. So It's so lame. It's so lame. But this is like really how they think. They're like, well, since Aaron Rodgers got the MVP, he can't also be offensive player of the year, even though doesn't it make sense?
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
How is the offensive player of the year not the MVP?
It was
I mean-
Derrick Henry because he ran for 2,000 yards. Whoopty freaking do. Like,
Well, then
Like,
why
yeah,
wasn't he MVP?
that's a great season, but is that better than Aaron Rodgers throwing for almost 50 touchdowns? And you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Exactly.
But that's just how these people. That's how the voters think. So that's why like it's not about who it should be. It's about how they think.
It's for media attention because it would be quote unquote boring if they just gave it to the same guy. Because
Yeah.
because they want to make the offensive player of the year a bigger award, is what it looks like to me at least.
Are you guys saying Skip Bayless doesn't know what he's talking about?
No,
Oh,
he's a
that guy.
retard.
Skip
boy.
Bayless is never wrong.
Exactly.
Whoa, Mark Andrews. That's the highest we've seen Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
I wish he wasn't
that's
a Cowboys fan because he makes us look like idiots.
This guy's either.
I wish he was a Philly fan or something.
Oh, well, then Jalen Hurts would be locked for MVP this year.
And I don't even know where to go. All our good receivers are gone. What happened?
Sutton's still there. I don't know how high you are on him.
Who's still there?
Sutton.
Sutton.
Sutton. Yeah, my wide receiver 2. All right. I don't see anybody else I even like.
Yeah, everyone talks about how deep wide receivers are, but it really,
No,
I don't see it. Like, I just don't.
that's
Not in
because
our
people
draft.
say things like, "Oh, I can get Corey Davis in the 10th round," as if Corey Davis is a lock. Like
Exactly. Yeah.
I like Corey Davis. I think Corey Davis is going to be good this year, but he's like a far from a lock. That's like me saying I can get Jamal Williams in the 12th round, and then people, "Oh, that's a terrible pick." It's like, is he any less of a lock than Corey Davis?
Yeah. Well, in most drafts, you realize that there will be a lot more running backs gone than receivers. So in your typical other league, you're going to have a better choice. You're still going to have Deontay Johnson on the board. You're still going to have DJ Moore, those guys, because you're not going to have J.K. Dobbins and DeAndre Swift and those guys. They'll be
Yeah,
taken.
I get Deontay Johnson in the 4th round of almost all my drafts.
Yep.
Yeah, like I really wanted to go Darren Waller over CeeDee Lamb, but I just knew that I needed to lock up that position.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Even though I prefer Waller to CeeDee Lamb, it's just I'd rather get a late round tight end than worry about my wide receivers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tight end, unless you have one of the top 2 or 3, tight end is just like whatever. You might as well just wait.
What's up, fellas?
Who's that, Marquise?
Yes, sir.
What's up?
Hey,
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
No complaints. It's a good Sunday.
Hey, anytime you have no complaints, it's a good day.
I know that's right.
Wow.
I can't get behind any of these wide receivers here.
I know.
that's what I was thinking.
I'm
I'm
like,
gonna go here.
I might have to go running back here.
Yeah. Although the rest of the running backs have questions too. Unless you want to go Dobbins, your boy.
No, I'll probably go wide receiver here because it's Kenny. He could take 2 running backs, but it's unlikely. He might take 1.
Go with the 4 running back start or 10 running back start. No, here you got a receiver at least. That's good.
I'll probably go. There goes Lockett. Higgins is gone. Is he gone? Yep, he's gone. Jeez. Okay.
It got gross really fast. Yeah.
Actually, I'm
Fourth
starting.
round, and it's pretty gross.
Starting to come around on someone, and I'll tell you why when I mention his name, but I can't
It's-
mention the name.
If it's Kenny Galladay, I'm gonna.
No.
Okay. I was gonna say if you're
Position wide
finally
receiver.
coming around.
I think
It's
great
this
value.
guy right. It's this guy right here, and here's why I say it. There's a guy. Matt Harmon, who does oh my God.
Reception perception or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
I
don't know
follow
if
some of his stuff. It's pretty good.
it's very good actually.
Yeah.
And there's not many analysts who I say are very good. There's only like a handful. He's one of them. But he's only very good when it comes to like the wide receiver stuff. But that's fine. It's fine because at least he's very good at that. And Brandon Ayuk last year had the best rookie season ever against man coverage, and there was only like one route that he didn't run well. And I'm like, well, crap.
I have no questions regarding the talent. My question is how much they're going to be throwing to him. That's my only thing.
They had no one else to throw to. That's my concern as well, is that he might have only flourished because who else do the 49ers have?
It's such a run heavy team. Like they're going to run the hell out of the ball.
I know, sleeper. I'm torn on these running backs.
I was gonna say here again.
Fine.
Take DeAndre Swift and call it a day. There you go.
I love how they added the sound effects and I feel like those are new.
But here's the thing that I believe. I mean, yeah, okay, maybe they don't throw very much or whatever, but here's the thing I believe, and maybe I'm wrong because I don't have any way to back this up.
You are right.
If the wide receiver is routinely open, the quarterback generally throws him the ball.
So
what do you think about?
So what if they go to Trey Lance and they only throw the ball 16 times a game?
Okay, well, that would be the lowest passing attempt since maybe like the 50s.
Would it surprise you though? Because it wouldn't really surprise me.
I mean, even the Ravens throw it more than 16 times. So yes, it would definitely. The Ravens averaged like 25 last year, or 26. So yes, it would greatly surprise me if they only threw it 16 times.
Well, I'm talking about like remember like rookie Lamar Jackson? He didn't they ran the ball ridiculous.
No, yeah, but he didn't really play. He wasn't the quarterback. He was like a gadget guy that they brought in on third down to pretend.
Yeah, remember they only brought him in because Flacco got hurt, right?
Yeah, but he ended up starting like 6 games or something.
Yeah, because Flacco missed the rest of the season, didn't he?
Yeah, because Flacco sucked.
But here's the thing, like 16, that seems, could they throw up maybe like 25 a game? Sure, that seems reasonable. But you're talking about Debo, Kittle, Ayuk, and nobody else, right? We know Kittle's going to get his. That's fine. He might even be the number one. But I could see Ayuk ascending Debo because, again, my theory, and maybe it's wrong, my theory is if you're open, the quarterback throws it to you a lot.
Maybe it depends on the offense and what they prioritize, right? Do they want?
I don't mean when I say throws it to you a lot, I don't mean like 40 times a game. I mean, okay, if you're open, the quarterback throws it to you a higher percentage of the time. How about that? Maybe that's a better way to say it.
Yeah, but it also depends on the quarterback's confidence in that receiver. You know what I mean? You feel like he's the guy who's gonna come down with it? Is that his most trusted guy? So it's a lot of chemistry involved, and that's the thing we don't know with Lance coming in as a rookie. But look, I don't think they drafted him number 3 overall to say, hey, we're going to put you in, but just don't throw it. Just hand it off. So I'm not worried about them not throwing the ball because that's the thing with Lance is his arm. That's why I think he'll be good with Ayuk because Ayuk is not like Debo. Like Debo is perfect for Garoppolo because he could just throw it like behind the line of scrimmage and like, okay, you do all the work. All right. Kittle was fine because he could just catch him down the middle running 5 yards across. But Ayuk is going to stretch the field more. And I think that's actually going to be beneficial to Lance, right? They'll take more shots across the field. So I like Ayuk as the number 1 receiver too, kind of for the same reason, I guess. I think he's going to fit the type of offense that they want to have, right? They're tired of the Jimmy Garoppolo offense.
I think Debo outperforms Ayuk easily.
Easily. You always know
that's why I like Debo in like the 6th or whatever.
You always know Jeremy's gone because it's like not even close. It's not even like it might be close. It's like
no, it's I think the only reason we saw Ayuk break out was because everyone was hurt or injured last year, and they only had one option. And now, even when people were coming back, he became less of an option.
I think I talked about this on a video, but I don't know if we published it because it might have got messed up. But if you look at the games when all 3 played, the target share was like 16% Ayuk, 16% Debo, 28% Kittle. Now, so it was really only just Kittle. Now, that was with Garoppolo, of course, or Nick Mullins or whatever quarterbacks they had at the time. I don't know. It probably not Garoppolo, but Mullins and whatever other mishmash guys.
So, and that's where I agree with you. I think it's completely even between Ayuk and Debo as far as that is.
You just said it wasn't even close. You said Debo.
Well,
was
hold on. Here's what.
Yeah,
here's
you said
what
you beat him
gives-
easily.
Here's what Debo. The thing, Debo's in all the trick plays, the end arounds. Like Debo just has that. So that's why I think Debo is way better than Ayuk for fantasy. Like he has a built-in floor that's way better than Ayuk's, and he's going to get the passing work.
But to Pierre's point, I think one of the reasons they ran, like to Pierre's point, I think one of the reasons they ran a lot of those plays because Kyle Shanahan had no confidence in Garoppolo throwing the ball down the field, so he just ran those plays. What happens if Lance plays and they have confidence in him and they're like, okay, now we want to like take chances down the field and actually take shots.
And even last year, half the time it wasn't even Garoppolo. It was Mullins and whoever the third guy, Beathard. They had to cover up for the receiver for the quarterback doing a lot of that.
Yeah, she's happy. She's seen a bunch of people. But I also think that's also just that's been a part of Shanahan's offense for as long as I can remember. Like
No. Young Money's on here. Young Money remembers. Think about Shanahan with RG3. Think about Shanahan with Kirk Cousins, who had some of his best games in Washington when Kyle Shanahan was the OC. Like, I don't think that's his style. I think Kyle Shanahan is a good enough coach that he bends his offense to what he has.
I mean, he made Josh Doxson a wide receiver 1 in Washington.
Yeah, like
I don't think he
wants to run. I don't think he wants to run that type of offense. He's just look at when they played Green Bay in the NFC Championship game. Green Bay couldn't stop the run, so he just ran the ball a game. He didn't even let Jimmy G throw one time, but it didn't matter because he's like, they can't stop us running the ball, so we're just going to do that, and we're not going to let Jimmy G beat us. Super Bowl, they couldn't do that because they were against Patrick Mahomes, and he had to let Jimmy G. And what happened when they had a chance, when Emmanuel Sanders was wide open? Couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. And I think that was the moment when Kyle Shanahan was like, done with this guy. We can't win a Super Bowl with this guy. We just can't.
Yeah, I started writing out something. So whenever I'm actually on here on time and we do these videos, just going through the wide receiver cores, mainly one with like 3 different options. Like, so I started on, I think it was like the Bengals, the Steelers, and there was someone else, Miami, because I was like, oh, and just picking who do you think the number 1 is in there, and who do you think will have the better fantasy finish? Because those aren't always the same. I feel like. And who's better at their like ADP? I guess that was the other.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. And if you think Debo's going to be much better than Ayuk, then
I think
you got to take Debo.
Yeah, and also mean for his ADP as well. So like Ayuk goes in like the 4th. I've seen him in the 3rd sometimes. Debo goes in like
at the end
the
of
6th is the highest I've seen him go, and he sometimes goes lower than that. And in your leagues, he's probably even going lower than that. Regular leagues. Yeah.
I really hope
Just in
this guy takes
Oklahoma
Myles
kind of
Gaskin.
didn't.
Please take Myles Gaskin. Take Myles Gaskin. If he doesn't take Myles Gaskin, I'm going to regret that DeAndre Swift pick so much. Like, how does Myles Gaskin fall to 6'11"? How does Mike Davis fall to 6'9"? Etienne. How does Josh Jacobs go over those guys? Please just take Myles Gaskin. It's the right pick.
You only got 2 receivers though.
Oh
my God.
Jeez.
All right, you got no choice.
I'm so glad this is a mock draft. Thank goodness it's a mock draft. Come on. Like, Myles Gaskin at the 6'11", what the hell?
Or something.
Like, man, why are we so low on Myles Gaskin? What happened? Did I miss? Was there some news this morning? Everybody worried Malcolm Brown's going to steal every single touchdown?
Or BBC.
Kind of.
I don't
I
know.
Brown's the
about that.
RB1. What are you talking about?
More than last year.
All right, there's Michael Thomas.
The 7th. That's a little earlier than I expected.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wasn't taking him anytime soon.
me neither.
So if am I correct? If he starts the season on the PUP list, it's at least 6 games.
If he starts on the pup, yeah, it's at least 6 games.
Yeah, depending on what you believe, but they're saying that it was going to be 6 to 8 weeks, and then some people are saying that realistically, by the time he gets back and rehabs and is in a full game shape, it's going to be halfway through the season. You know what I mean? So I don't know. To me, it's just not worth stashing a guy like that.
Yeah, I would be the pessimist and say he's only worth it if he makes it back enough for the playoff. And still then, like
Even then, I mean,
For 2
with
games in the 7th round.
Winston, I mean,
yeah. I'm not agreeing with taking him at 7. Now, the only reason, if you can get him later and you can stash him in an IR spot, I'm not letting him take up a bench spot. I think that's a thing too.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
going to happen is you're going to draft Michael Thomas in the 7th.
I'm not taking him in the 7th.
Oh, whoever does it is going to take him in the 7th. It's going to be like week 6 or week 7, and he's still not back, and there's no timetable on him being back. And then you're like, screw it, I have to drop him because I'm sitting here at like 3 and 4, and I got to win right now. And then somebody who's in the playoffs picks him up in like week 10 just as a flyer and wins championship. Because they get 2 games out of him in week like 16 and 17 or whatever it's going to be this year. 15 and 16, I don't know. Dang. Apparently the Anthony Miller news really moved up Mooney's stock.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the 7th. Well, I will say I try and get him in the 9th in this draft every time, and it never works.
no, in these drafts, he's 8th round at the latest nowadays. But yeah, just wait. He's gonna be the type of guy that you wanted, and now he's almost undraftable because he's going way too high.
Yeah.
It's like it's
Here's
still
the thing. Look, I liked Mooney at the end of last year. I mean, Stinger's been on Mooney like since day 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's on him over Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But that's the thing. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, Anthony Miller's gone. This is so good for Darnell Mooney." It's like, what about Allen Robinson? Like, isn't he just gonna see even more targets now? Like, I mean, I like Mooney. Mooney's a good player, but we're talking about Allen Robinson, like one of the best wide receivers in the game. Like,
Anthony Miller was getting faded pretty heavily by the whole last year anyways.
that's what I'm saying. Like, Anthony Miller was barely on the field. Like, how does Anthony Miller getting traded do anything?
They had that one guy. Remember that guy who punched the Saints player or whatever? Was it the Saints?
that was Miller. It was Miller. He got ejected.
No,
like
that
twice.
wasn't Miller. That was another guy.
That was Javon Wims.
Yeah, Javon Wims. They had him playing over Anthony Miller.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand why everybody's freaking out about this Anthony Miller trade. I'm like, this does nothing. This does nothing for nobody.
It gives Watson another weapon to throw to, guys.
Watson isn't going to be a Texans quarterback.
I know. I saw that in like some of the chats. It's like, oh, look, they're getting Watson some weapons. And I was like, I don't know who still believes Watson's going to be a Texan this year, but
That team's going to be awful for the next like 5 to 6 years, probably.
Hawk at the 6'3", that's good.
I mean, if they can get Watson, if they can trade Watson for 2 or 3 first, I think they'll be fine.
No, because if they trade Watson for 2 or 3 firsts, they'll literally just get back the first that they've already traded away.
Right, it's their own draft picks. They're just getting their own draft picks back.
Because typically, like bad teams at least have like draft picks to get better. Like they're a bad team, like a horrible team who has no draft picks.
I know. I saw somebody tweet out today like Brandon Cooks is in line for like 120 targets, such a good value, and I didn't respond because I don't like to get into arguments on Twitter because it's pointless. But I'm like, okay, let's give him 120 targets. With terrible QB play, let's give him like a 60% catch rate, which might be even a little high with terrible QB play. What is that, 70 catches?
Are we throwing a concussion in there too?
How many
No, I'm
catches?
serious. I'm being honest. Like he's.
But even,
I mean,
even
talk
if
about
we
somebody
assume he
who-
stays healthy, we're talking about 70, 75 catches
Yeah.
with like
How many
maybe
touchdowns are you going to give him?
5 or 6. Like how many touchdowns are they going to throw? They're going to throw 30. Maybe they throw 20. Maybe like, so you're talking about a 70 to 75 catch guy with like 8 touchdown upside. Like 8 is like his ceiling.
I actually like Jarvis Landry over Brandon Cooks
Okay.
Thank you.
personally.
As do I.
Oh God.
Jab it in there.
I'm completely off Cooks though.
Yeah, I'm pretty much off Cook too. He goes too early.
I think they're similar players, and the one has much better QB play.
Somebody got to catch the balls out in Houston.
What's that?
I said somebody got to catch the balls out there.
I know, but that's what I just said. Let's give him 120 targets and a 60% catch rate. What is that? 70, 75? I don't know. It's somewhere around there. And again, like 5 touchdowns. That's
Melvin Jordan.
And honestly, if
anything.
Tyrod Taylor and Davis Mills are quarterbacks, like you can't say somebody's gonna. I mean, the ground's gonna catch like 90% of those balls.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm giving him a 60% rate, which is actually probably too high, but I'll give him it. Let's give him it.
Now, what
They're
if
going to
he
be
ends up with
losing
like
every
160
game. They're going to have to
targets?
pass every play.
Every single.
Oh, one thing to say, if it's Tyrod Taylor, if he's a starter all year, that at least would give a quarterback, give a receiver some value. You know, Tyrod likes to air it out, right? He's not going to dump it off. He can throw it deep. So if Cooks can get deep on some plays, I'll give him some value. You know who I like Cooks better than? I'd rather have the number 1 receiver in Houston than like the number 3 or 4 receiver on a good offense, just because it's good offense. Like, I'd rather take him over McCole Hardman every day, because people think, oh, he's on the Chiefs. He's going to break out. Like, he's not. He's never going to be this first, second, or third option. So I would take Cooks over McCole Hardman.
Well, that's because there is no wide receiver 3 on the Chiefs. There's only Kelsey and Hill. People don't want to admit it, but it's true. And then there's just everybody else.
All right, this is how you win the draft in the 8th round, right there.
Uh-oh.
I thought he was going to make it back to me.
But like, again, and it's not just Brandon Cooks. They have Kiki Kuti, who was pretty good last year. They have, who else do they have?
They just
He's a
drafted
practice
Nico
squad
Collins,
guy.
who I like a lot, actually.
They have
what I
Nico
mean is, like,
Collins,
What I mean is,
Chris
like, people,
Conley.
yeah, what I mean is people think like, oh, they have no one else to throw to. Like, no, that's not true.
Randall Cobb's
He's not
the
going to
only
get, he's not going to
established
get
veteran.
600 targets. Like, they're going to throw to lots of other people. 120 targets is a lot of targets, especially for a team that's probably not going to have the ball very much. Probably going to have a lot of 3 and outs. Probably going to be punting quite a bit this year. All right, I'll take him here. I'll take the chance that Plotter, Trey Sermon can't win the job.
Oh, now you're going to rip on Sermon. That's just not cool.
I mean, what was his 40 time?
You and these 40 times.
4.65 or something?
I think it was 4.63 or something like that.
Oh God, that's terrible.
But that's
Like,
off the top of my head. That's off the top of my head. I could be completely wrong.
Okay, this is a guy I would take over Brandon Cooks 100 times out of 100, because at least there's a path to upside here.
Amon Ross St. Brown? Oh, okay.
Damn, I thought he was going to make it back to me.
Could he bust? Sure, but so could Brandon Cooks.
Yeah,
I
I thought
just
you were
don't like
talking
anyone
about-
saying someone's got breakout potential on the Colts, because was it last year? Like,
Yeah, but that was
besides
that
T.Y.
was like
Hilton, none of
that
their
was-
receivers were great.
Philip Dead Arm Rivers, who literally dumped it
No,
off
I-
to running backs like 300 times.
They're going to keep everything quick and easy for Carson Wentz, so I don't know if that's helping out.
And Pittman isn't the deep ball guy. That's T.Y. Hilton. I'm more worried about. I do like T.Y. Hilton too. I think he's a good value too. But we're talking
Well,
about a guy
there's
who-
Pittman, and then there's the other guy who I
There's
can't.
Campbell.
There's Campbell.
Paris
Chris Campbell.
Very-
And everyone's like, oh, these two are breakout potentials.
Here's the
And I'm
thing.
like,
Sure, Paris Campbell could break out too, but he's played 7 games in 2 years. Like,
yeah.
he's basically still a rookie. Like, he has like no NFL experience yet.
He can't stay healthy at all.
And even if he does, you got to think it's going to be a while. Like, he has not played in the NFL basically.
Right.
He
He's
have
not
it.
a breakout candidate. He's a value. Like if you get him late, like he might be a good value pick because he could be the top receiver in Indianapolis, and you can get him like round 10 or later. But he's not a breakout guy. Like I say, Chanel's a breakout guy because he could have a huge season, with
Yeah.
Lawrence. But yeah, nobody in the Colts offense in the passing game is going to break out. It's going to be a run-heavy team. They're going to run
Yeah.
the ball as much as they can.
Oh, AL, come on now.
I would 100%
Gosh.
take Russell Gage over Brandon Cooks too.
Damn it.
Yeah,
I
that's
take
right.
him over Pittman and Amon Ra, Michael Gallup.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't
Gallup
know
would be
why.
the struggle for me.
What's
Nah,
that?
he's over.
Gallup would be a little bit of a struggle for me.
He's over Gallup for sure. I don't understand the Gallup
This year, yes. So I'm thinking longer term, but
Gallup's
Gallup
a wide
had some
receiver
good games. Right. Last year, Nick, you probably remember better than I can. His first
Yeah.
5 games with Dak, he had 2 or 3 big games, didn't he?
No. he had
Yeah.
one.
yeah,
Still, I
Okay.
mean, because the thing about Gallup, I mean, I love him. He's definitely a guy I love a lot more in Dynasty than redraft.
Wait,
'cause
real
in
quick,
the
Nick, are
coming
we doing,
years-
is this 6 point for passing or 4?
4.
4, okay.
Okay, here's Gallup's receptions in the games with Dak last year. 3, 2, 6, 2, 4.
Okay, but yardage. What about yardage?
Yeah, he's a big yardage.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever stat you want me to give you, I'll give you.
The
50,
one
how many
that gets points.
touchdowns?
The one that
50,
gets points.
50, 58, 138. There it was. 29, 73.
And how many touchdowns?
0, 0, 1, 0, 0. Keep
Okay, well, there's
them coming. I can do this all day. I'm like Captain America.
Wait, so
Okay.
look how well he did with such little.
He's
Just
the
wait
wide.
until he
Here's the
gets
thing.
points.
It's if you
He's
look.
not going to get more.
He's got unless Amari Cooper his injury is worse than they're telling us, and he's going to miss time. It's Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb in some order, whatever you feel like as the 1A 1B, and then it's like everybody else. And yeah, Gallup had a game where he had 6 catches, 138 yards, and a touchdown. He'll do that every now and then. But it's very rare that a team can support 3 good week-to-week fantasy wide receivers. It happens, and maybe it's going to happen for the Cowboys. But it's like only like one team a year. Like last year it was Pittsburgh.
So you're saying you like Brandon Cooks over Michael Gallup? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying neither, honestly. I'm saying neither, honestly.
I tried. Okay. No, I know he's not going to have a huge role, but he has that big game potential. He could always, because that's how they use him. But you don't love the guy who is boom or bust, but sometimes you need that, right? Because you need the boom. So I mean,
I'm saying I'm not taking him over Russell Gage, who's likely going to be the wide receiver 2 for the Falcons.
Yeah, but I take him over Pittman.
I wouldn't.
But you don't like. No, I know we don't wish injuries.
Obviously, I wouldn't take him over Pittman. I didn't.
But if Cooper goes down, does Gallup instantly goes up for you, right?
Oh,
like he has a path.
For sure. Oh, no, 100%. But I don't draft wide receiver handcuffs. But the thing is, but for sure, no, Gallup would be, because we've seen Gallup be good.
Yeah.
Look, Gallup, I think, is when they drafted CeeDee Lamb and everybody was like, CeeDee Lamb. I'm like, you're crazy. They have Michael Gallup. He's going to be the number 2. He's really good. He's going to 100 yards. And, okay, I was wrong. CeeDee Lamb made Gallup irrelevant, basically. But definitely that's why Cooper goes down, then Michael Gallup is potentially a league winner because, like I said, he had 1,100 yards with Dak 2 years ago, right? We know the connection is there. We know he can do it. It's not like, if like Russell Gage goes down, everybody's favorite Olamide Zacchaeus or whatever his name is, it's like, okay, sure, but he might not do anything, right? We don't know. He might not do anything. He might be good. He might not do anything. But we know Gallup will be good for sure.
I just need someone to. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, Nick, what you were saying, you prefer him in Dynasty, which makes a lot of sense because he could next year be with another team. He could jump into a bigger role, whatever. But he's the perfect example of a guy who I like. He's a lot more valuable in best ball. I'm all in best ball mode because it's the season, but he's a lot more valuable in best ball than in redraft because in redraft, you never know week to week. Are you going to start him? Is he going to be valuable? And in best ball, you don't have to worry about that. And those boom games are so much more valuable. Like a guy like MVS who you don't want to draft, like that's a guy you need to draft in best ball because those 3 or 4 big games he has more than make up for the games where he does nothing, because you didn't need him those other weeks because you had somebody else ahead of him. But he still was in your lineup essentially. You know what I mean? So you definitely want to target those kind of guys, not to help you out in our draft that we're going to do.
Yeah, I just need whoever's tech savvy in the chat or on the YouTube to GIF Chris's I am wrong, so we can use that all the time now.
No, that's the thing. I admit when I'm wrong. I change stances on guys. I don't understand. Like when I hear somebody who's like absolute, I'm like, you're probably bad at fantasy football, honestly. Because no, I'm serious, because football, not even fantasy football changes so fast. Like look how fast things have changed already in the span of a week, right? Like it changes so quick. You have to be fluid, and you have to be willing to say, you know what, I was wrong on this guy. I was right, whatever. Like you have to be willing to. Like if J.K. Dobbins catches 50 passes, I will take my medicine. I will say I was wrong. I didn't see it. Oh well, it happens, right? I'll take my medicine. What I was going to say about Gallup is, yeah, the other thing about boom bust guys like that in redraft, which this is a redraft draft, is what usually happens is he's on your bench, and then he has that game where he catches 138 yards and a touchdown, and then you're like, nice, and then you start him the next week, and you miss the boom, and he goes out there and gets 2 catches for 50 yards, and you're like, damn it, right? You missed the boom. That's what usually happens, is you miss the boom. So you don't even get those boom weeks in redraft because he's on your bench when he booms.
I'm about to draft back-to-back quarterbacks here. I got Hurts.
You probably need to, since you drafted Hurts in the ninth.
I can't believe you drafted Hurts over Herbert.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
Why'd you do that?
Why did you draft Hurts? I mean, I love Jalen Hurts, but I'm not drafting him over Justin Herbert.
Real quick, just because Goddard in the 7th, are we still with that? With Ertz not moving, apparently?
Not at that spot.
Wow.
No,
Okay, well, that's a 5 for Austin now.
I like the flexibility. That's what I'll say.
Are you going to put Hurts out a wide receiver?
It's called matchup flexibility right there. And I can trade them too, so we'll see.
No one trades for a QB. Okay, only terrible players trade for a QB in a 1 QB league.
Yeah.
Jeremy, what will you give me for him?
3
I cannot believe you drafted Justin Herbert. What are we doing here?
That's worth at least 4 first-round picks.
You just completely lost the draft.
What were you saying? You just asked about
Dallas Goddard in the 7th with Ertz still being there.
I was saying Goddard was my favorite tight end target, basically after Hawkinson, who I have way too much of already in my leagues. But yeah, that's exactly what Chris was saying. I got to back off of him now because I could have sworn Ertz was going to get traded, because why would he not get traded at this point? But apparently he's not getting traded. You can't love him as much. Like, he's still a top 10 tight end, but he's not like the number 5 like I had him, so that's too early. I think I'd rather have Fan.
Dude, I remember when I used to get Jamal Williams and Latavius Murray and these guys at the end of every draft, and now I can't even get them.
You're talking them up too much.
Guys, I want you all to know, Zach Moss, Devin Singletary, A.J. Dillon, they're going to be top 5 running backs this year. Start drafting them earlier, please. Start drafting them earlier.
Big winners.
You guys better not let Stafford get back to me here.
Oh, gosh.
Go to QB farm.
Is it okay? So is this the best team you've ever drafted now, officially? Because you got 2 quarterbacks.
You know what? I'm not even going to pick a QB here because I just want. Wait, do I have a tight end?
If this is super flex, it's the best team I've ever.
Do I have a tight end, guys? Can somebody scroll up and let me know? Do I have a tight end?
Yeah, no, you do not. No, you don't.
And I don't have a QB either, huh?
No,
Right.
you have to go QB tight end unless if you want to fail.
Are we just calling, if you don't draft the tight end, you automatically get a 5 on your grade?
Do I draft?
0.
This is actually
0.
tough. Actually, you know what? Oh, these tight ends suck
Just
too.
trade for a quarterback later.
5
Just trade
paragraphs in
for
the paper, and you only write 4 paragraphs. That's a 0.
Oh, there you
That
go.
could end up being a great pick.
He still doesn't have a quarterback.
Even if he retires?
My plan for this draft was actually to get Taysom Hill in the last round, but didn't work.
Rodgers retires, and you're trading for Hurts.
Rodgers retires, and I'm just picking up like Lawrence, Burrow, Stafford, Tannehill, Maybe Watson has a team by then. Like,
I'm surprised you don't go with your boy Fitzmagic.
I'll just grab him off waivers. It's fine. It's a 1 QB league.
Nice pick with a Troutman. There you go.
Wow, Leonard Fournette in the 10th section.
Yeah, I probably should have gone him over Herbert, honestly. But.
I don't like when I say I like Jamal Williams and Gus Edwards and Latavius Murray and Nyheim Hines, it doesn't mean I like them more than guys who are locked into like the potentially the starting running back role on their team.
That's what I was looking at. I was like, wait, where did
It
this
means I
draft
like
go?
them as
'Cause I
late
can-
round guys who could potentially perform well.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't take any of those guys over Leonard Fournette.
Zach
Here's
Moss went
wild.
over.
Fournette's
or-
only been in the NFL for 4 years.
I know people don't realize he's still pretty young.
Like he's 26. Has 4 years of experience. That's insane.
Yeah, people don't realize that. And I do think like I don't like love Leonard Fournette this year. But I wouldn't draft him over like David Johnson. I wouldn't draft him after David Johnson, Melvin Gordon, Dillon, Edwards, Williams, Hines, Murray, maybe Jones. If you're like, I think Jones wins the job. Okay, I can argue that, but none of those guys. That's crazy.
Unless if he is 100% locked in the draft, though, I'm completely off of him. Like I'd only want him if he's like for sure going to be the number 1 guy in Tampa.
I mean, okay, but if he's the number 2 guy in Tampa, does he have less value than AJ Dillon? No. Gus Edwards? No.
What if it's like a
I mean,
three-way?
in my
split,
opinion,
though?
yeah, but we'll see.
He has less value than AJ Dillon, who has no value. Like, AJ Dillon has no value
Edwards,
unless
not
Aaron
Dillon.
Jones is out.
I meant Gus Edwards, I meant Edwards, Hines, Williams, those guys. I agree with you on Dillon.
I mean, I'm high on those guys, but I'm high on those guys because usually you get them later and they have potential. But I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like even the number 2 RB in Tampa Bay has less value than the number 2 RB in Detroit or the pass catching back in Indy or a pure handcuff like Dillon or even Latavius. I mean, okay, maybe Latavius Murray, because if the Saints do just say, screw it, we're just going to play Taysom Hill and run like a Ravens style offense, then yeah, he might be looking at like 10 plus touches a game in, that offense. But, and I'm not on Fournette. I'm just saying, like, after those guys, even I would take those guys over Fournette.
That's another player you're all over, right, Chris? You love Gabriel Davis, but the writing's on the wall. He's going to be very involved this year.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, okay, you can either like look at the fact that they signed Emmanuel Sanders as like, did they see Gabriel Davis last year and say, we really like what we have in this guy, but let's go sign 33-year-old or 32-year-old Emmanuel Sanders anyways? I don't know, maybe, but and then, or did they say like, he's okay, but we like him, we think Emmanuel Sanders can help us more. That's probably more likely. And I love Gabriel. I was on him last year. I was on him early in the offseason, but now I'm like, I can't anymore.
You just think, well, so I do think it does give him a little bonus in just adding some depth, especially with him. Didn't they have John Brown last year? So they just needed to someone to fill that role.
But that's what I'm saying.
Cheaper.
They had somebody to fill that role. His name was Gabriel Davis.
I know.
On a rookie contract.
Right.
And they said, no, let's go out and sign a veteran free agent who we really don't need.
They're basically saying Davis can't fill that role, so we need somebody else.
Flag. Like, look, Gabriel Davis in Dynasty probably still fine because is Emmanuel Sanders going to be there next year? Could Emmanuel Sanders hit a wall this year? Of course, he's like 32 or 33 years old. But that's the red flag to me is like, why do you sign Emmanuel Sanders if you have Gabriel Davis and you liked what you saw from Gabriel Davis last year?
The no Cole Beasley's 110% guaranteed to get COVID.
But what if he gets it before the season?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. All right.
Although I don't know if you guys saw this, but allegedly, which this is very confusing to me. So there's a golfer. His name is John Rahm. He's one of the best golfers. He just won the U.S. Open this year. About a little over 7 weeks ago, he got the vaccine. 2 weeks later, he was leading one of the biggest golf tournaments going into the final day, leading by 6 shots, and he tested positive for COVID. Now he was supposed to play on the Olympics for Spain because he's from Spain, and he tested positive again. How is that even possible?
Is it the new variant of it?
But here's the thing: if you got the vaccine, it's supposed to be very low that you can get COVID. But also, if you got COVID, it's supposed to be very low chance that you can get COVID again. And if you have the vaccine and COVID, it's supposed to be almost impossible for you to get COVID again. And it's somehow in the span of 7 weeks, he got the vaccine and 2 COVIDs. Either those tests are horrible or this guy's got the worst immune system mankind has ever seen. How is it possible for this to happen? How is it or
I wonder if it just never left his bloodstream.
Or COVID is way crazier than we even know, and there's nothing that can stop it. Literally nothing on earth can stop COVID because if you can get the
you guys
vaccine
need to play in a room.
and
I think
COVID
that-
twice in the
please,
span of
thank
7
you.
weeks, what the hell? We might as well all just say screw it, we're done.
Kyrie, don't put blocks in your mouth. No, out of your mouth.
You know what the problem is?
Alaric, don't touch her. Don't touch her.
Too much.
If she's doing
I
something
can't
bad,
hear you.
come get
Let me hear you. Well, what's the problem?
I said the problem is he's hanging out with Dwayne Haskins at the club too much. That's why I keep saying it.
I mean, even still, it's if I got the vaccine and then got COVID, I'd be I can do whatever I want. COVID can't touch me. And then you get it again, you're like, what the heck? So I was like, that's insane to me. How does that even happen?
It could be because it could be like birth control. It's supposed to work, but I don't know. In rare cases, it doesn't.
In the
Never know.
unfortunate case.
I'm glad you don't know. I'm glad you don't have firsthand experience, Nick.
No, I
Maybe
don't.
you do, and
Oh no, I don't. Thankfully,
All
I
right.
don't.
Anyway,
That'd be bad.
instead of sitting here talking about COVID, which I'm tired of, let's have
Yeah.
somebody.
All right. Grades.
Let's grade this draft.
All
wants
right,
to
I can do it.
All right, Nick, you jump first. Let's go.
All right, so we'll start with Kenny, Catherine McLaurin. I don't like taking both Edwards-Helaire or Dobbins. If you really like one of those guys, sure, take one of them, but there's no need to take both of them. And Alan goes, yeah, you're looking at Chark. Michael Thomas, we'll see what happens with him when he comes back. I mean, he's gonna be out for some time. Brown,
He's gonna be out for some time.
Gesicki, Collins. Man, I got to be honest. This is a pretty rough team. Excuse me. Chark could be something. Antonio Brown could very well be a diamond in the rough. But the only really positive thing here is you have McCaffrey and then McLaurin. But considering you were the first pick, it just looks like because you got both Edwards-Helaire and Dobbins, and so it really messes up your wide receiver core. That's pretty rough. I'd say that's like a 6.5. Chris, Dalman, Robinson, Evans, Ayuk. I'm a little unsure about him. I totally understand the point you brought up, but I'm not super confident on him considering the circumstances of which he broke out last year. Swift, Gaskin, Waddle, Mostert, Pittman, Rodgers is good there. And you punted tight end. I mean, I'd say this is a pretty solid team. You got a nice wide receiver group there. Obviously, Swift and Gaskin was a little unfortunate. I know you're saying you were hoping Gaskin didn't fall to you. But of course, hindsight's 2020. I'd say it's a solid team, 7.58. Uncle Drew. Is this the guy? Oh, this is the guy from the Czech Republic, right?
Dalvin Cook. Jeez.
What happened?
I said especially since I auto drafted Dalvin Cook.
Oh. All right, Uncle Drew. So we got
Been on a few.
Henry,
Been on a few.
Harris. How are we feeling about Najee? You think second round is that fair value for him?
I think that's definitely fair value. I mean, because look at the guys behind him. I mean, well, Mixon doesn't
Yeah.
usually go at the 3.9. He's almost certainly getting more volume than Edwards-Helaire. I know Edwards-Helaire is in a better offense, but he's also in an offense that throws the ball 35 to 40 times every week. Which I guess so do the Steelers. So I guess maybe that's not fair. But like, are you taking Carson over him? No. Are you taking Montgomery over him? No. Dobbins definitely not. So I think that's fair.
Okay, yeah, I was just curious because I know for the most part he's been going in the third, but I'm starting to see him creep up into the second of our draft. So I just wanted to see what you guys thought about that. Julio, maybe a tad early for him. Same for Devonta Smith, maybe a tad early. Pitts, Devontae Anderson, Gallup. Yeah, this is also another kind of like the first team. I mean, your running backs are fine because I like Najee. Really, Derrick Henry maybe a little surprising to see him over Saquon Kamara. Well, maybe not Kamara, but I don't know. Henry at the 3 is okay, I guess. Not spectacular. But this is another kind of 6-6-5. It's just you're looking at the wide receiver core. You got Julio. We don't know what he's going to be like. Devonta Smith, I think, is good, but fourth might be a little early. Robbie Anderson could be something, but I'm not too confident about any of those Carolina receivers with Darnold throwing to him. And then Traquan Smith could certainly be a diamond in the rough. Gallup is kind of like what we were talking about in redraft. Who's extreme boom bust in that offense is not too confident on him. So a little bit of a rough team there too. Let's see what Ale, Mara Brown, Cup, Lockett, Henderson, Davis, Brady, Burnett, Brady, Hawkins. Let's see. I think this is probably a 7-7-5. I mean, that's an all right team. I suppose it was good to go get Davis there after Henderson because even though we think he could certainly be something with Akers out, it's by no means a guarantee. The Rams could certainly sign someone or two and run a committee there. So we'll see what happens there. But I'd say that's an all right team. All right, Austin, Zeke, Allen, Lamb, Montgomery. I'm fine with Galladay, Claypool, Mooney. See, I really liked your team in the first half. I think you had a really strong start. But then you went Damian Harris. You got 2 quarterbacks. Tanyan, Hilton. Hilton there in the 12 is fine. I'd say this is probably, if I just graded your first half, that would be at 8.85, really, really good. But then your second half kind of turns me off a bit. But I'd say a 7. Definitely not your worst draft. Let's just say that.
But I can't claim it's my best draft, unfortunately.
I would have to argue differently. This is your worst draft. You drafted back-to-back QBs.
Is it that bad though? Like back to back, like
when
look
you
at the
drafted
rest of the
before,
roster.
I would say it's not as bad.
If let's say we replace Justin Herbert with Zach Moss, all right, like does that change my grade that much? I don't think it does.
Well, what if you
Not
replace
really.
him with Leonard Fournette?
I mean, maybe a little bit, but I mean, I wouldn't love starting Leonard Fournette week to week, anyways. I mean,
Well, you have Zeke and Monty, so you wouldn't. But what I mean is, you drafted 2 QBs in a 1 QB league. Like,
you just can't get over that, can you?
You guys ever seen the movie Rounders? Some of you,
No.
Austin and Nick, you might be too young. It's a poker movie. But anyways, there's this point in the beginning where he says, if you sit down at the table and you can't find the sucker, you're the sucker. If you're in a 1 QB league and somebody drafts 2 QBs, they're the sucker.
Okay, but if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play all year, you are also the sucker.
Who's still on waivers? Like everybody, like tons of QBs.
Tannehill. No.
Who is on waivers? Yeah, who doesn't get drafted? To like
Now, and in regards to that, though, I think if you've got bench spots and you see a rookie, I hate going to the waiver wires and going for the rookie breakout. Like that sucks. Like,
Oh no, you
half
don't.
the time.
But here's the point. Let's say you take Leonard Fournette or even Zach Moss, and let's say at some point in the season, Ronald Jones gets hurt, and now Leonard Fournette is the guy there, or Devin Singletary gets hurt, and Zach Moss is the guy there. They at least are going to help your team. Justin, unless like you're probably going to start Justin Herbert over Jalen. You're going to start only one of those guys. You're not going to mix and match probably, and you're going to end up dropping one of them for some waiver wire pickup.
Well, to be honest, like
And
in
then,
an actual,
when you drop one of them, I will pick them up when Aaron Rodgers retires.
In an actual draft, what I would say, like if this was like our league long draft, and I drafted Zeke at the 5th, I'd probably be looking to draft Pollard somewhere, like even in the 10th, to be honest. I know you hate it, but
yeah, even Pollard would be a better pick there because at least Pollard could crack your starting lineup.
No, but I'm saying I would think about drafting Pollard at that like 10-8 spot over Fournette. Like that's just as a safety net, I would feel comfortable with that.
No, it's fine. The point being, like, you can't draft 2 QBs in one QB league unless it's like really deep benches and people do it. But in like a shallow bench league where you only have like 5 or 6 guys in your bench, it's just a waste of a bench spot. But anyways,
that's fair.
It's a waste of a spot. That's the thing is like even these days, the QB 12, you got Tannehill. You know, it could be a top 10 fantasy quarterback. And Burrow could be a breakout. You know, Stafford. Like you just don't need a second quarterback, and you might as well use that spot somewhere else.
Time and time again,
I know the value was there, and you were like trolling a little bit, like how can Justin Herbert still be on the board? And you were probably like going like, why did I draft Jalen Hurts over Justin Herbert? So I get it, but
yeah, and time and time again though, like I realize that just wait till literally either the 11th or 12th round to pick a quarterback. Like,
yeah, that's why my thing is like once Jalen Hurts is gone, then I'm in wait mode. If I can get like any of the guys up to Jalen Hurts at a good value, I'll take them. But after that, I'm just in wait mode.
You know, drafting a quarterback early will never win you your league. The guy who wins your league is going to be the mid or the late round guy that you take that nobody else took. And it could be Jalen Hurts this year. You know, it could be someone like Tannehill. It'll be Trevor Lawrence. It'll be somebody who isn't drafted, you know what I mean, as a starting quarterback. So then what's the point of getting Mahomes in the 3rd or the 4th round or Josh Allen in the 5th round? You know what I mean? Because you're paying premium for those guys.
But even Jalen Hurts in like the 9th, I was kind of expecting either Gus or Jamal Williams to come back to me in the 10th. And like, because I never would normally spend like the 9-5 on one of those guys. But looking back at it, I would have much rather picked Gus or Jamal at the 9-5. Which is just so early, it seems. But
I don't have any problem with Jalen Hurts in the 9th. I just have a problem with Jalen Hurts over Herbert. Like if you had taken Herbert in the 9th and then taken whoever in the 10th, that's fine too. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And yeah, to your point, Pierre, every league winning, well, there's only been a few, but every league winning quarterback, according to ESPN, has been taken outside the top 100 players. No quarterback taken inside the top 100 players has an above 20% win rate.
Right. So you might as well wait and take, you know, obviously this year's breakout league winning quarterback in Tua. You might as well just wait and take him.
Well, I'm just going to grab him off waivers once Aaron Rodgers retires. I'm just going to pick up Tua. There we go.
That's it.
All right. Let's keep this moving though. Go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
No, you're good. Just one small thing to add on there. Like I agree it's a wasted spot, but his first half of the draft was strong enough. I'm okay with letting it slide. All right, Young Money. Saquon at the 1-6. I love that spot. I think you can expect to see him fall down there. Maybe not so much in our drafts, but just in general. People worried about him with his knee. We got DK Cooper. Mahomes, I'm fine with at that spot. I'm not usually an early QB guy, but he's falling far enough. I'm okay with that. Judy, Etienne, Sermon. I like that pickup. Elijah, Connor, Rager, Troutman, Lindsay. I really like this team. I think this is probably an 8-5. You got a really strong wide receiver core. You got a great potential with Elijah Moore and Rager. I liked getting both Etienne and Sermon there. 2 guys that I think will both be pretty good, but certainly not sure things. So it's good to pick up both of them. Certainly one of them will be a great RB2 for you. And then you could even maybe flex one of them. Who knows? And then you got Troutman, who I think is already, I think his value is pretty good at that spot. Even higher now with MT being out. So yeah, really good job. Team Keem, say Tyreek. maybe a little early there. Gibson, you got Godwin taking Chase, got the Cincy stack. Jacobs, Carter, similar to Young Money's team. Those were two good pickups there. I'm a little bit surprised that Jacobs went before Etienne, Davis, Gaskin, Javante, but 6-6 can't really complain too much. You got Carter there. Fuller, I've eased off of him a bit, being in such a crowded wide receiver room. How do you guys feel about that? Fuller at the 8-6?
I like it.
You do or don't like it?
No, I do like it.
Okay.
I think
I have a hard. I don't mind Fuller. I have a hard time though. Let me ask Chris. What realistically, what's the difference between him and Gallup in Dallas? Because there's three viable receivers. Fuller's going to be mainly like the stretch guy, right? The guy who runs deep. And I mean, we don't know Waddle, of course, is a rookie, but still compare Waddle to like Lamb, and then let's say Devontae Parker there. There's three receivers and they don't have Dak Prescott. They have Tua, who's better, obviously, but still, that's not going to be a pass-heavy team. So I'm wondering, like, how do you compare Fuller to Gallup?
because I think Amari Cooper is significantly better than Devontae Parker. In fact, I think Will Fuller is better than Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker had one nice year when Ryan Fitzpatrick was chucking him the ball. Like, Devontae Parker was not very good last year. I don't believe. Yeah, Devontae Parker will be out there, especially week 1, because Will Fuller won't be out there. But I could see this being like Will Fuller and Jalen Waddle, with Devontae Parker being the third guy. Honestly, I just don't believe in Devontae Parker. Like, literally, it took him 4 years to break out, and it also took Ryan Fitzpatrick. And then in year 5 with Tua, am I right about those years, or did he break out in year 5? I can't remember. Year 4, year 5, and then last year with mostly Tua. He was good in the games with Fitzpatrick last year, but when Tua was out there, he wasn't. He wasn't getting targeted a lot. His depth of target wasn't very good. So I think Fuller is going to be more of the one, with Waddle playing out of the slot, which is why I also like Waddle. And I think Parker is going to kind of be the odd man out. That's what I feel. That's my take.
All right. I mean, if Fuller's the one, then that definitely makes sense. I have a feeling there isn't going to be a clear number one. I think by midseason, Waddle kind of becomes the main target. I think Fuller maybe is the guy, I think I said this before, who leads the team in yards. And I think that Parker maybe is the guy who leads the team in touchdowns. But I have no faith in Parker. I've never had faith in Parker since the day he was drafted. But Fuller, I just think he's going to be kind of like Gallup in production. Is going to be kind of boom bust.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think everybody in this passing game will be boom bust, because, like you said, it's not a high volume passing offense.
He's not going to get consistent targets. That's the thing. He doesn't have Deshaun Watson throwing him the ball anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously with Deshaun Watson, he'd probably be, if he was in Houston still and Deshaun Watson was playing, he'd probably be going in like the 4th round, right? So that's my feeling. I could be wrong, but that's my feeling. But I'd rather take him over a guy like, not to pick on you, but Landry or Marquise Brown, who I feel like, I mean, maybe, okay, like Marquise Brown, I mean, he's like the epitome of boom bust, but he busts like 90% of the time and booms like 10. And again, Landry to me is just like, yeah, he's fine, but he's not going to give you like those week-winning weeks. He's not really going to ever do anything for you. So, but I'm fine if you are off on Fuller. I'm good with that too. Like, totally fine with that.
I'm not off on Fuller. I just, I'm just curious the difference between, like I said, because I see him and Gallup as being kind of similar this year. But anyways, all right, go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
Okay, so let's see. Yeah. And then Johnson, Jones at the 9 and 10. I mean, I don't necessarily dislike those guys at those spots, but considering Herbert was available at both of those, I would have much rather seen that. Maybe pick up one of those potential high upside wide receivers. And then Burrow, Higbee. So this team's, it's all right. It's well balanced, but there's not really much here that really jumps out at me as great value. I'd say probably a 7.5 there. So Pierre's team, we got Eckler, Ridley Waller, Sutton, Fine, Juju. This team's pretty good. Like getting Waller there. You still got Ridley, Sutton, 2 grid wide receivers. Hunt, you got locked down your RB2. Probably the only pick I really don't like here is Juju. Um, I would have much rather seen. If I was there, I probably would have taken his teammate Claypool there. But you never know. Maybe Juju could still do something there. You got Robinson, Verdap, Landry, Gordon.
I should have taken Mooney. I should have just got him.
Yeah, you got to take Mooney at the 6'5". You know, he's going to replace Al. He's going to supersede Allen Robinson. But I like your team overall. I'd say that's a good solid 8 there. Good job. And then show D Topper. Is that supposed to be showstopper, but a typo? I don't know.
A miss hit on the keyboard.
I don't know.
I do that all the time when typing. So you got Diggs, the 1-9. Is that I think that might be the earliest we've seen him. I mean, I love Diggs, but that just seems a little early for me. But who knows? And then you got Chubb. So you still got Chubb there, so that's fine. Mixon and Andrews. That's really early for Mark Andrews. Oh yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, that hurt your wide receivers. You're looking at after you got Diggs. Okay, he's good. And you got Beckham, Brown.
He took a second tight end.
Oh, he did. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, he took Goddard, who also took him early. Oh boy.
Goddard in the first 7 rounds.
Yeah, both Andrews and Goddard. Oh boy, and both of them early. He did get Lamar, so he did something. Oh boy, I gotta be honest. This is like a 5 for me. I don't like this team very much.
Oh man.
Because
somebody asked in the chat if this was tight end premium. We're like, no.
Yeah, ALS
Oh.
was tight end premium as a joke.
Yeah, I would have loved to seen what would have happened after Mixon if someone else would have drafted from that point on. Because I actually like that start, like the Diggs, Chubb.
Yeah, I mean the first few rounds are fine. The first 3 rounds are okay.
Yeah, I just would have loved to see how it would have played out with a better outcome.
If it was me, I would have loaded up on wide receivers after that, though.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because after that, the only pick I like at all here is Lamar. I mean, I suppose Murray at the 10 isn't bad, but so yeah, definitely a rough one there from Show D Topper. All right, Gus. Interesting start here. Adams, Jefferson, Deontay, Carson, good with him there. Debo, and I'm not too high on Debo, but 5'10", that's not bad value. Hawkinson, Edmonds. How's this for Edmonds? So I have a tough time gauging him. So I like him a little bit more than Connor, but 7'10". What do you guys think about that?
I mean, it's about where he's going.
Yeah. To me, it felt a little early, but I just wanted to get
No,
a
I
second.
don't draft him very much. I'm worried that Connor's going to have the Drake role. And even if you don't think Connor's very good, like, is Kenyon Drake very good?
He was all right last year, but nothing crazy.
He had what was he? Was he 6 in carries, Pierre?
Drake?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Let me look it up.
Couldn't even hit 1,000 rushing yards. Like, he wasn't very good. He's okay. He's fine.
I think I prefer Edmonds to Connor personally, just because I don't have much faith in Connor, and I think that Edmonds will be out there for most of the snaps. But his ceiling is still pretty limited. So
yeah, I think
that's fine for where you got him. I think that's fine. Drake was 7th in carries, by the way.
7th, and he didn't even reach 1,000 yards. I don't know. Did anybody else in the top 10 not reach 1,000 yards? Top 10 carries? Even Josh Jacobs, everybody says sucks. I think he was
Zeke,
and still went over 1,000 yards.
Zeke had 979.
So Zeke sucks too.
All right.
Where does Zeke rank in carries?
5th.
What? Wow.
Yep. More than James Robinson.
That's crazy.
I will say before Nick grades it, I actually like this team, like the way he drafted and stuff. Like Edmonds is a little questionable. Huh?
Yeah, I like it so far too.
Maybe I would have liked somebody like Hunt. Oh wait, Hunt was gone. Maybe somebody like Davis, Gaskin, Williams, Etienne, Jacobs over Debo, and then maybe go with a wide receiver over Evans, just to lock in like 2 solid RBs. But I do like Gus's draft too. I like it. But go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, and then Dak, that's great value. Edwards, Davis, Campbell, Gainwell. I like his depth there. Yeah, I think this is a solid team. I think this is definitely an 8. If he had maybe done like you said, Chris, maybe taken a solid RB2 with the 5'10", I think that would definitely push it to an 8.5 fit for me. So yeah, good team for Gus. And then Marquise, you got Taylor, Kelsey, nice start. Moore, Thielen, maybe so. I mean, those aren't bad picks by any means, but there were a few guys available here I would definitely prefer at those spots. Sanders is good value at 5'11". You got Chenault, Cooks. I mean, can't really complain too much there. I mean, like I said, someone's got to catch. I forgot who it was. Someone said that someone's got to catch the balls in Houston. So
That was Marquise.
that was Marquise. Okay, yeah. So if there's anyone, it's probably going to be Cooks. So you got Drake, and then Parker, Ruggs, Edwards. So yeah, loaded up with some high potential guys there. And then, Tannehill at the 12. Yeah, I think this is another solid team. I think it's a 7.58. So solid job there. Maybe if you got a few of those, could have got maybe some better wide receivers there early. But still pretty good overall. And then someone else can do my team. I'm not very happy with my team. So
Who wants to do Nick's team? Don't all jump at once.
I can do it.
All right, go for it, Jeremy.
all right, lay it on.
So we
me.
got so a little bit interesting as I look this over. So you went Aaron Jones, Hopkins, Woods, Kittle, Samuel. So I guess instead of your RB2, you decided to hit the flex spot. And so you went Samuel, Boyd, got Kyler Murray in the 7th, which is great value, then Mike Williams. And so since you neglected RB2, you spent from the 9th round down on all running backs. So you got Williams, Hines, Pollard, and Penny. So I mean, I think in drafts, you're not, especially this draft, you're not going to win every spot. But I think you chose, hey, I'm gonna make sure everything else is okay except my RB2, and I actually like this. Like one of your guys should hopefully fulfill an RB2 role, but you're strong in every other position to where I think you're going to beat out most teams. So I'm going to give this I think I'd give it at least an 8.5. Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I probably wouldn't have done that in a real draft, but because I decided I'd much rather try to play around and hope something hits with RB2 than flex. So that's why exactly what you said. I tried to hit flex really hard.
Yeah. So and I think for what we know now and all the information we have, I mean, you got Hopkins, who's going to be a nice 18 to 23 point. Woods is going to be 13 to 18. Kittle, you're going to beat most of the people who don't have a top 3 tight end. Curtis Samuel, definitely big boom or bust. We have no idea what's going to happen there. Boyd could continue having the main job or be in contention with all the other receivers there. Kyle Murray, I think, was great in the 7th. I don't know who takes Lamar Jackson over Kyler Murray, but won't be me. Mike Williams, everyone knows he's my guy this year. And then for the running backs you got, I think they all either have a role or have the potential to gain a role. So
There you go.
All right, guys. Good drafts as always, except for Austin. Just kidding.
Well,
Yeah,
someone
sorry for me
also
being
did
half
take 2
asleep.
tight ends. So we had 2.
Yeah, we had 2 really weird rosters. Two QBs
That's
and
true.
Stroud.
tight ends. Not even 2 tight ends. 2 tight ends in the first 7. Like I don't think Andrews ever goes that early, and I don't even think Goddard goes that early. So 2 tight end reaches. 1 tight end draft. That's interesting. All right, guys. Well, I already sent out the email for this week's drafts. I had some.
All right, cool. Look for it.
And I also took out, since these drafts aren't filling super quick anymore, I took out the part about one per draft. So if you want to join multiple drafts, go for it.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah. Because every week, every day, I'm like, hey, there's 3 spots. Hey, there's 4 spots. So just screw it. If you guys want multiple, so don't worry about it.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. You guys got anything coming
A
up?
yawn or a sneeze, Nick? What was that?
What?
Was that a yawn or a sneeze?
I yawn. I'm like half asleep right now. Sorry for yawning so much.
That was a monster yawn. Go take a nap, buddy.
Probably. Well, I just woke up like right before the draft started.
You woke up at like 12:45, or no? I guess you're 2 hours ahead. So 11:45.
Yeah, I woke up at like 11. So I guess not like right before.
What
But
time-
look, okay, the night before, right? The night before, I left Seattle like 5 a.m. and I
Oh,
didn't sleep at all the night before because I had to be at the airport at like 3.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm basically trying to catch up on sleep is what I'm doing. Because I
Okay.
pretty much slept from like, because I got home at like 2:30 and I pretty much slept continuously from then, and then I woke up briefly and then fell asleep again till like 11 today. So I'm like trying to catch up on sleep.
Well, that's fair. That makes sense. So
Yeah.
Hey, Chris or Pierre, you guys working on anything coming up?
Always. Actually, I was gonna ask Chris. We went pod today. I might have to because tomorrow night I'm gonna be out. So we'll have to figure it out pretty soon.
Well, if you need to, I can. I'm free the rest of the day, so let me know.
Okay. And Nick, I also woke up at 11, so I hear you, but I don't have an actual reason. I just stayed up
Yeah.
till 5.
I mean, that's what I do most days anyway, is go to sleep at like between 2 and 4 and then wake up late.
That's the way to do it.
Great.
I don't know. Is there something you're looking for, Jeremy? Something specific, y'all?
No, I just thought maybe tease something for the people on YouTube or give them anything that's coming up. I just know like training camp and stuff's coming up, and so most of the fantasy stuff comes out or starts rolling out more and more, and so
Yeah,
people.
I was going to talk to Pierre about that actually. I mean, yeah, we're going to start ramping it up, and I definitely want to start doing more debate style where it's like we're having a conversation. So we're going to talk about that too.
Oh, okay.
Talk about that.
I just thought I'd bring it up and see
Yeah.
what you guys were working on or what you guys. But I guess you guys are still figuring that out. So I asked too early. Cool.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. We'll see
No
you
problem.
Tuesday. See
All
you.
right, see you
So, yeah,
soon.
come out in the
All
Discord.
right, fellas.
We have some good
All right,
comments.
all.
All right,
See
guys.
you guys.